A big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video. If you need a website or a domain, go to squarespace.com/James for 10% off your first purchase.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to a very nice sunny Wales. And I've not been able to say that for what feels like months. But you join me here in Anglesey at our favourite beach. Emily and I and Noah like to come here a lot. We came here a few days ago for a swim, and Noah got his first taste of January sea swimming. 8 degrees, and I say swimming, he had a bit of a paddle before he decided that was enough. Don't fall over. But yeah, while we were here the other day, I sort of realised that despite this being our favourite stretch of coastline close to where we live, I don't have a good photo of this stretch of coastline. So I thought today I'd come and try and change that. A few things in our favour. We've got some light, and also there's a really nice offshore wind, which is making the sea very flat. It's a shame there's no swell, because if there was swell, the waves would be stood up and you'd get lots of nice glow on the spray from the waves. But not to be. Never mind. Basically, on the west coast of Britain, the prevailing wind means that it's usually onshore winds. So, yeah, this is quite rare. But as I say, not going to be able to make the most of it because it's pretty flat. Anyway, yes, that's the aim of the game today, to get a photo of this stretch of coastline that I like. And maybe a tan. Oh, someone's pulled up in the car park. Maybe they'll go for a swim. Can't see a thing. Please say I'm recording. Well, so far, bit of a fail. As you can probably tell, the light is a little bit harsh now and will be for a couple of hours, but that's better than summer where the light's too harsh for about 14 hours. So I've retired to my car to have my lunch at 11:15, which is par for the course, if I'm being completely honest, regardless of the light. I'm usually eating my lunch way before lunchtime. And also I've bought a pack of 9 all butter mini mince pies, which I'm a bit ashamed about, even though I've not started them yet. But it's a foregone conclusion. But so far, photographically, I've got nothing. I had ingredients at times this morning. Some half-decent waves, some birds flying over, a couple of people, but nothing really gelled, nothing came together in a way that I would have wanted. So hopefully this afternoon, I'll have a bit more success. But first, lunch. 16 minutes past 11. Tiny bit more acceptable. Well, I ate 4 just then, and the really shameful part is that I'm proud of myself for not eating 9. Not good. Anyway, slight change of plan. I've decided to drive 5 minutes down to Rosniger, the nearest town, and I've never really explored that much around here. So while the light is a bit harsh, I'm going to do that and then head back to the beach when the light is a bit better. Absolutely dead. I'll tell you what, these bollards are a real nice bit of human nature, and I don't know that the light is right for it. In fact, I do. It's not at the minute, but they will look fantastic, particularly with some swell, as I said. Well, I'll tell you what, this light is tricky, but there is an awful lot to photograph here on a moody, stormy day, and I'm already excited to come back. That's quite nice. Oh my word. I mean, again, give me flat light and waves. That is fantastic. Another day. I really like that. I love these fence posts on the left, and I love how the seaweed is spread out on the beach with a crisp blue sky, no clouds in sight. Doesn't necessarily look like a January photo, that, but I do like it. Stay. It's a real nice human nature shot with the birds on the line. Very good. I'll tell you what, back in the day, if I'd come to places like this, sort of new places that I've not been to before, and it's bonkers that I've not been here before, but I haven't, I would get really frustrated if I saw opportunities for photos that didn't have the conditions to execute on those photos. I'd spend the whole day thinking, oh, if only there were more waves, if only there were more people, if only the light was a bit less harsh. But nowadays, I get super excited by the prospect of coming back here when the conditions are right. Because coming to a place that you can easily revisit with better conditions, I don't know, I just find it keeps you plugged into the game. And I feel super plugged into the game knowing that I can come back here anytime. I'm lucky to live 45 minutes from this place, but as I said, it makes it even more bonkers that I've not been here before. Idiot. Well, there's another video where I didn't really get a result that I'm super happy with, but c'est la vie. That is how the world works as far as photography goes, and as I said, for the 5th time, I'm very excited to head back to that location in flat light, because just like other locations that I've been to before, I'm thinking of places like Porthlevin in Cornwall, and I uploaded some photos to Instagram from there recently. When you have flat light, you're basically working underneath a massive softbox. And the reason I love that is that a lot of the time it means your subjects aren't competing with lots of glow from really nice light. You're not distracted from your subject by really harsh shadows. It just means that your subject can shine if the light's not shining. And that little village, I think, will work brilliantly for that. So very much looking forward to a storm, hopefully before too long. And of course I'll make a video when that arises. In the meantime, I want to talk very briefly about this camera, this Sony A7R5, which I've had for about 7 or 8 months now, I think. And if you've watched this channel for a while, you'll know that I'm not the biggest fan of it. Or haven't been. I mean, technically, it's fantastic. Like all Sony cameras that I've used, there is never a moment where I can blame the camera for something that's gone wrong. It's always my fault, because these never miss a beat. They're just a bit boring in my experience. That said, over the past couple of months, my opinion seems to be softening a bit, largely because of this lens, this 40mm f2.5 lens that I absolutely love, probably my favourite lens. I took this to Portugal a couple of months ago, left it on the camera basically all week, and it was just a joy. It's tiny, light, and basically means you can hang this camera around your neck all day and not really even notice it. And so yeah, this has been the gateway basically to me starting to enjoy using this camera. I've not found it all that boring. And that's been helped further by this lens that I mentioned last week, the 50 f1.4, which I got primarily to shoot photos of Noah. But actually on days like that, I really enjoyed also just using it for, well, my general photography. And a hypocrite warning, I said literally a few weeks ago in one of my last videos of last year that all my favourite photos from last year demonstrated that I never really needed to use super bright apertures. I'm shooting in the day all the time and I'm not looking for real shallow depth of field. But photos like this, I don't know, I just think opening up the aperture does look really, really nice. So yeah, between these two lenses, the 40 and the 50, I've actually really started to enjoy shooting with this camera, which was something I didn't expect to tell you, to be honest. So yeah, that'll be interesting to watch the developments of. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll probably still be testing other cameras on this channel this year, including one in a couple of weeks' time, which I'm very excited about. And this year I'm also very excited to see whether a Fuji X Pro 4 comes to fruition. And I'll watch that quite closely if it does. But this will probably still remain my daily camera
And I'm pleased to report that I'm starting to enjoy it thanks to these lenses. So that's a bit of good news. Anyway, waffling on, big thank you for watching, and also a thank you to this week's video sponsor, Squarespace. Now, my Squarespace website is built with the template Wells, and I absolutely love how it arranges my portfolio. And I can drag and drop images wherever I like. I try to organise them by tone and feel and temperature, that kind of thing. But I just think it looks like a really neat way to organise photos, and it's far from the only way you can organise photos with Squarespace, because there are so many templates to choose from, and lots of those templates work fantastically for photography specific websites. And if you're a photographer and you're looking for ways to showcase your work online, I would highly recommend getting your own website that you control solely, rather than only using social media and letting those websites dictate how your images are down-resed and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I think all photographers need a website, and I can't recommend Squarespace enough. You can get a free trial by going to squarespace.com, and after that, if you'd like to make a purchase, just go to squarespace.com/James and you'll get 10% off that first purchase. So a big thank you to them, and thank you to you for watching. And next week, hopefully, I'll take 1 or 2 photos that I really quite like. That's the hope every week, really, but it's been a while since I've managed that, so fingers crossed. See you then.